virtual meeting links. What are they? Very specifically, what's the best one? It's called Calendly. Let me show you why. Let's go. I am Mark Perrone, and I want to know who has Calendly in here.
Oh, I know. But I have something like it.
Calendly. Okay. Today I'm going to go over the $12 a month version of Calendly and why you should have that version. I'm going to talk to you about email sequences that go along with your signups and what that means to your CRM, how that functionality is integrated together and the information that you get from it. Okay. So everybody has Calendly or you're looking to get Calendly. Which one of those two things is true?
I have
Calendly.
I have Calendly.
I have it.
All right.
I have one that's part of my CRM, but I'm considering whether or not to switch to Calendly, and I want to hear what you have to say.
Okay.
Usually your stuff is really great cross-platform, so yeah, you do a great job.
Thank you. I appreciate that. Okay. So as you all know, I use HubSpot. HubSpot has a calendar thing that you can use, a calendar link. But I do not use the one in HubSpot for a very specific reason. Number one, Calendly was first to market with this virtual calendar concept in mass. I'm not saying there weren't other virtual calendar concepts out there previously, but this one went global for a couple reasons. Number one, if you have Calendly and someone else has Calendly, it will show the times that you're available against what the other people have available right in the calendaring function, right? That's number one. If you have another one, it doesn't do that, all right? The second thing is, let me pull it up real quick, so here's your tiering structure in Calendly. I'm gonna break this down for you. This is great to learn on if you don't have the language to use your virtual calendar. This is very important for those of us that have been around since before calendaring was a thing. There's, in particular, and if anybody in here falls into this category, I apologize before I say what I say. I mean no harm. The baby boomer generation has a concept of I'm in leadership and you should respect my calendar over your calendar. So you get time with me, I don't get time with you. There's some pride around that, all right? It happens with a lot of people, but in particular, leaders of that generation see it that way. That's the reason why they have assistants a lot of times. Talk to my assistant. It's a point of pride. You have to recognize this. If you do not recognize this, you'll be at a loss with your virtual calendar, okay? Here's a little tip. The language that you should use when you're introducing your calendar link to somebody is, can I schedule with you on this calendar? It's very specific language and it pays homage to somebody else's time before you ask them to go to your calendar, okay? If you use that, it is a magic statement. It changes people that are not functionally aware of what a virtual calendar is into somebody that's like, oh, I'm going to schedule some time, right? I'm going to knock down some time on a calendar. And then your calendar leads them through that workflow. If you're having trouble using your virtual link, the way that I do it is in my emails, I actually keep this embedded in my signature so I can always find it quickly and I can copy and paste this statement back up in the email body. Now, again, if you think that people are going to schedule with you out of this link in your signature, you're probably mistaken. 9 times out of 10, it needs to be in the body of the email. Okay, so you want to paste it back up here. If you leave it down there, you can go to your own calendar link very quickly. It's a little place where it's stored, but it's not bookmarked. Okay. Using this language overcomes the barrier of the virtual calendar very quickly. It took me a while to figure out how to implement this, and once I started using this, it works like gangbusters. Okay, that's the first tip. All right, going back to the pricing on Calendly, it's a virtual meeting link outright, right? You just set up your different versions of the meetings you want, your availability, all that functionality is there. The difference between these two and this one is the workflow enablement. I forget where it is down here, but functionally what it does is it allows you to send an email before your meeting and after your meeting. Okay.
Mark, I think it's under customized email notifications and reminders.
Let's see if that, I believe you. We'll just go with that and say it's there. Okay. I don't want to investigate it anymore because you guys know what I'm talking about at this point. So when I go to log into mine, I'm on the $12 a month version. Okay. And oh no. Ha-ha, it worked. Okay. So that's going to be in workflows. And it's really weird how this is structured. Okay. Once you have the $12 version, this is enabled. Okay. What it's doing is it's saying what meetings these workflows apply to. Okay. And this is a little bit confusing. I'm going to go over it quickly. This was not designed to be a workshop on how to do this. I'm just showing you the functionality so you understand why this is greater than all the rest. For $12 a month, I have an email going 6 days after the event. If I go back, I have a workflow that goes 12 hours before the event. If you've had a meeting with me or multiple meetings with me, you know this happens every single time. Yes, it's an automation. Congratulations, you figured it out. It's not intended to be insulting. It's intended to make sure I'm comprehensively and consistently adding information to our entire experience. This 12 hours before is fundamental, right? Hey, don't forget.
It also helps you avoid no-shows.
That's true. This part does right here, 100%. Yeah. Right? For those people that aren't calendar enabled and forget meetings, it's a reminder, right? If you meet with me, this is a warning. Be prepared. That's the reason why I do it this way. Be prepared with what we talked about previously. Don't forget that you're going to be drinking from a fire hose a little bit in the beginning. Be ready for tomorrow. Hopefully do your homework, right? Now, that 6-day one I'm going to go back to in a minute. This one right here is fundamentally pretty standard. So, hi, Dr. Oliver, if there's anything I can do for you past our call, please don't hesitate to reach out. I have my cell phone number embedded here with it. Remember to take action. I look forward to hearing if there was any impact from our call. This language is very specific because I typically give away a bunch of value on my calls. I know that. Everyone tells me that. It's intended to be that way. There is typically an impact that I'm looking for that I'd like to hear about. Very specifically, this is a mile marker to say, you got value, don't forget. Okay? This one's relatively standard too. The one that's more important than the rest, in my opinion, is this 6 days after. The 6 days after one is paramount to a couple different things. First of all, I want LinkedIn connections. If we're not connected on LinkedIn, don't forget, here's my profile. Please go to it. Let's connect. This is an invitation to connect. I'm asking you to go to my LinkedIn profile, so do it, right? The second one's YouTube. YouTube is very, very important to my strategy right now. I'm trying to build my YouTube channel to 1,000 subscribers. Okay. I'm talking about it right now. Go subscribe, it'd be helpful. Second, if we have a follow-up for this, every single time we have a meeting, I'm trying to encourage you to go to my YouTube channel. Okay, it's a chance to remind you I have one. I don't care if it's an automation. Every randomness on my end of it with a 6-day add back reminds you we met. I'm hoping that you remember me. It's a marketing touch. It's a very powerful tool when it comes to sending 3 emails against one meeting. That's 4 marketing touches you're getting from me from just scheduling a meeting. Does that make sense? Catherine, did you have a question?
No, I was listening, but I was also going to YouTube to subscribe to YouTube.
I appreciate that.
How many times can we subscribe?
I wish 1 million, it'd be great. But only once, unless you have multiple email addresses, but I'm not really trying to do all that. The third thing I have here is my Facebook. Rethink Revenue Facebook thing. I really don't do a lot with this. It's just in here because it's a conduit, right? It's another place that we can connect. If that's where you are, fine, I'll be there too. I don't leverage Facebook organic at all. I don't think it's really that valuable, to be honest with you. It's my own humble opinion. If anybody knows anybody that's a Facebook organic person, don't go tell them and sick them on me or anything. The concept of the Facebook area for me is basically just, if you're there, I'll be there too.
Mm-hmm.
And then I've got a 0 Point Sales Academy that I've been working on. And more or less, this is just language for you to go see what it is that we're doing on the website. And I actually forget where this link goes, so I hope, yeah. So this is a page on my website, and this more or less gets you to look at my website.
Mm-hmm.
Now, you'll notice that this is only a sales page. It's not a website page. I'm looking for people to ask to tell me more here. There's only a couple calls to action, but they're all pretty much the same thing. This outlines a little bit about what we do in the academy. Right? This is a future product I'm working on. This is something I've been trying to build a curriculum for about 18 months now, and I still don't have it all the way together. The idea here is that I'm still advertising something in this little email. So for Mark, Tabitha, Dr. Oliver, Scott, when you've met with me often, this comes up, and I'm hoping that maybe you went to connect with me the first time on LinkedIn and didn't do anything else. The second time you're like, oh yeah, I forgot about the YouTube channel. Click, right? Just a little cursory touch. Now, do you guys just ignore this email? More than likely, because it's just another thing I'm saying. But hopefully for someone it comes through and it resonates, right? That idea of a marketing touch is what I'm going for. That's 4 marketing touches related to one meeting.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't ignore it the first couple of times.
Now it's just like noise. Yeah, I hear you. So that said, if you have a relatively powerful CRM and or HubSpot, it does integrate with it. Okay, what it does.
Hey, Mark, go back to that. Edit that again, would you?
Edit the email?
No, the one at the bottom. Yeah, that one. What's that stuff at the bottom? Include reconfirmation button. Include. So you don't have those checked. Is that because it's?
So I don't ever use a reconfirm button because I don't do double opt-in.
Okay.
What that means is that for someone that you want to market to, a double opt-in is really strong proof in your email marketing that they're really interested in what you offer. I don't really care how interested you are. Like if you get into any of my workflows, I'm like ready and willing to share information, right? Include, cancel, and reschedule. This one I do use. I use that on the reminder email, the first one that comes. Just in case you do want to reschedule, I do have that button there that is enabled. And then include cancellation policy. I don't have a cancellation policy around the way I do business, so it doesn't really, like I'm not gonna be pissed if you cancel with me. It's your schedule, not mine, right? So I don't have a policy around that really. Does that answer your question, Mark?
Yes, thank you.
Okay, so going back to the HubSpot integration, I gotta stay in this one. Where you would go is up to the App Store in HubSpot, and it's going to be pretty similar for any CRM that you have. If there's a third-party marketplace, you're going to be able to do the same thing there, okay? You just type in Calendly, and this is a pretty prevalent calendaring function. In this case, it's super simple to do. You just hit install app. I just did this with Scott. It's seamless. It's just bam, and it works, okay? By works, what we mean is when your form pops up, you have different data points that you're collecting, right? I just looked at Tabitha's. Tabitha has first name, last name, which comes over. She has LinkedIn profile that she's asking for that will populate as long as it's mapped to your LinkedIn personal profile in your CRM. She has a comments area, and then you have something, who referred you? That's the other thing that she's got. If she has those in HubSpot as fields, it will map them for you. So when you click that button, the mapping comes up. Now, it does add some weird function inside your CRM a lot of times. There's Calendly question 1 through whatever you have. So it'd be Calendly question 1, 2, 3, 4. if the mapping's done, it'll fill in the data point that you want to see in your CRM for you automatically, but it does add those properties in your CRM to say Calendly form function 1 through whatever. Does that make sense? Okay, so Dr. Oliver, why is it greater than the simple HubSpot calendar function? Did I answer that question for you?
Yeah, so what you basically tied in was, look, you're going to get not just an automated calendar that respects other people's time, but on top of that, you're going to get multiple marketing contexts. And I don't remember what the number is, but there's like a certain number of touches you have to have with any given client to get them to be like, bought in, and they need to be positive touches. And so by using the advanced version of Calendly, sorry, some words trip me up, apologies. But by using that advanced functionality, you're actually able to get a whole lot of extra touches out of technically one point of contact. Yep. And so you're like top of mind, you're in their inbox, you're in their notifications. Hey, this person just sent you a message, and you're doing that multiple times. And so you're actually building up the number of touches, because Mark likes touching people. No. Anyway, you're building up your number of touches a lot more quickly. And so therefore you're front of mind. It's almost like the whole love bombing concept, where you're there, you're front of mind, you're really front loading the whole conversation. And because it's an automation, you don't actually need to do anything once it's first set up, which means you're getting all those other touches.
So Tabitha, you put a number up there, 7 for the marketing touches, or for the touches to a customer, I think is what you were quoting. All right. Let's talk about that for a second. There are different schools of thought around this, okay? So the idea from a sales perspective is different than a macro level perspective, okay? I've definitely heard 7's the magic number in sales, okay? So, I'm sure you've seen the statistic, follow up 3 times and you're like 70% more likely to close a deal or something. I don't know what those statistics are, so don't quote me on that. In the sales area, that may be true. But when you're starting at the very beginning of this, the count is much greater. So like if for whatever reason we had billboards, radio ads, TV ads, Pandora ads, Facebook ads, LinkedIn stuff, email, those are gonna be way more touches in the macro, right? So when you start to think about this in a solopreneur perspective, you should target more than 7. You should start to think of it in the 30s. So I'm knocking out 4 right off the bat. Now, something to think about. A lot of people, Mark Crowley is probably one of these people, that gets annoyed when an automation comes to them. I've seen this before, right, Mark? Yes, I do. And now you've seen it again. It's better to be annoying than unknown.
I have one that I have a 1-to-1 schedule with for tomorrow. I started getting text reminders of this 2 days ago, and I'm continuing to get them today, and I'm sure I will get more today and more tomorrow. It's like, okay, that's enough.
Yeah, so what's his name? I forget his name.
Eddie Mohammed.
Oh, it's not the same guy. There's a guy in here that uses a CRM called Go High Level. Linda Lewis sells this too. And there's a module inside there that's a customized AI bot that allows you to programmatically SMS text. And because I know what I know, I figured that's what it was. But honestly, my suspect button never went off around the text he was sending me, because they were worded in such a way that it sounded like the dude was texting me. Like legitimately sounded like it. He's very good at this too. This is the only thing he does, is this SMS text workflow. And he customizes each of the text that goes out and looks at all the results from the texts to see who answered what when, and then re-augments the language that's in the text for you. It is a very slick system. Very, very, very well done. Highly polished. And he only uses Go High Level for that. It's one module in Go High Level that he uses, and he doesn't even sell the CRM. It's super cool. Very, very cool. I forget the guy's name, but he came to Tech Corner a couple times. He's new to H7. Anybody else have any questions, concerns, suggestions around this? We got about 45 seconds left.
I do really like having some, like multiple connections, like an SMS is valuable if the person is opted in. Like that's the thing. They have to give permission. And if you wanted that double opt-in, that's already a double opt-in by saying, yeah, I'm willing to take texts from you, you know?
When I initiated with them, there was language at the bottom that said, I'll probably send you a text. I gave them my cell phone number, so that was the opt-in.
Yep.
Right. Tabitha, did you have something?
I'm just sad about the number 30, but okay.
Well, if you think about it, you just got 4. It's not, I mean, it's not that big of a deal. Schedule another meeting, then you have 8.